We're 6 weeks into the season and already the wheat has been sorted from the chaff. And the pick of the crop is the Eagles. In 2010, only Ron Fuller's new Panthers outfit has found a way past the Eagles' defence. And let's face it, that was pretty logical. But under Michael Godden's leadership, the Eagles have perched at the top of the ladder, looking every bit like premiership material. But there's a long way to go before they can get to prove they're that good. Today, they have to get past Daniel Healy's Roosters. It's been a shaky start to the year at Menzies Crescent. North Adelaide is 3-3 going into round 7, with the biggest problem being consistency. Hammered by West Adelaide, but easily disposing of the Panthers and then nearly knocking off the Bays in round 5, the Roosters are just too hard to pick. But coming off a thrashing at the hands of the reigning premiers last Sunday, maybe, just maybe, there'll be enough anger and determination to deal with the Eagles today. Let's find out in the Battle of the Birds. From the Woodville Oval, it's the Eagles versus the Roosters. Hello everyone and welcome to Ladies Round in the SANFL, and it's welcome to grandstand for the first time to Brett Backwell, the former Glenelg player. We can say that now, Brett, but look, you've got had a long career in the SANFL, but just sitting out this season.
Yeah, look, just taking the year off. I've had a few injury worries that I'm getting fixed up and really looking forward to playing somewhere next year.
And a shoulder reconstruction on top of everything else now.
Yeah, I've just had a shoulder reconstruction, so out of the sling for a week now and really starting to get into the rehab.
And of course, I think well documented at the time. We go back to 2005, and I think a lot of people saw this, the finger, and you had it chopped off as the best way to go forward in playing footy.
Yeah, look, I had a few troubles with the left ring finger, and rather than getting it fixed, made the wise decision to chop it off, and yeah, it hasn't hindered me too much. And
no regrets?
Not so far, no.
Very good. Well, it is Ladies' Day, or Ladies' Round in the SANFL. It's Mother's Day, of course, tomorrow. Here's what some of the players want to send greetings to their mums.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Love you.
Mum, happy Mother's Day. Hoping you're having a great day up at Morgan. I love you. Thanks for everything. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, Mum. You've put up with a lot. I really appreciate it. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Hope you have a great day. Sorry I can't be with you tomorrow, but yeah, love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Love you lots.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Hope you enjoy your day at work and hopefully watch us put on a clinic.
Mum, thanks for driving me down to trainings all these times. It's really made all this footy worth it. And yeah, thanks. Happy Mother's Day.
Just send out a cheerio to Mum in country Victoria. Happy Mother's Day, Mum. I hope you have a great day. Sorry I can't see you, but I'll catch you soon.
Happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll be cooking a nice Sunday roast for you. Thanks.
Sunday roast sounds just fantastic. Anyway, we'll move on with the match today, or the matches from last weekend that led into this afternoon. Start with North against Central District, and I think the Roosters sort of fancied they would be able to go with the top teams in the competition. Wasn't the case last weekend. Not for the first time, some problems kicking goals.
Yeah, just really lacking that consistency. I mean, on their day, North are a fantastic side and can score really heavily on you, but when they're just slightly off, especially against a side like Central Districts, you're going to pay it, and Central's really made them earn it last week.
5-1 in the opening quarter to the Bulldogs, and a 9-1 final term that really sealed the deal for the Doggies.
Yeah, as I said, if you have a lapse in concentration against Central Districts, you're going to get hurt, and you know, those 2 quarters just show that the difference in the two sides at the moment.
75 points, the final margin there. Well, for the Eagles, they took on Westies here at Woodville last Sunday afternoon. Westies have definitely been a better side this season.
Yeah, look, for me, they're the real big improver of the year. Andy Collins has got them playing a really good team-structured football, but as we've seen, the Eagles are a fantastic outfit. Mickey Godden's got them playing some really good, strong, aggressive footy, and if you have a lapse in concentration again for 5-10 minutes, they're going to hurt you, and you know, West Adelaide just need to really work harder for 4 quarters.
And it was close for 3 quarters, under 10 points the difference at every change of ends, and in the last term, the Eagles kicked 5-3 to win that by 18 points. Well, last night's game, well, we talk about results in this SANFL season and hard to pick. this game, Norwood Glenelg, and the Redlegs in consecutive weeks have beaten Port Adelaide, Sturt, and now the Bays.
Yeah, look, I went out and watched Norwood play Glenelg in Round 1, and to be brutally honest, they were pretty ordinary. They just lacked spirit and fight and aggressiveness. And look, last night was a completely different story. They came out, they tackled hard, their pressure on Glenelg was outstanding, which is something the Bays pride themselves on. And they came away with a terrific win, and they have done for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, 67 points, and never fear, Redlegs fans, we will have the full highlights coming up at quarter time as we look at that premiership table, an indication of how close things are. 2 games between top and 8th on the ladder, and 3 games will separate all the clubs. So it's been very close, it's been very tight this season. The Eagles are leading the way, yes, but they were beaten by South Adelaide, who in turn, North Adelaide managed to put 25 goals on the board against. So go figure. That is the way the premiership table looks. This is the goal kickers table, and Nick Salter leading the way with 20 goals early in the season. Brad Chambers hasn't had a great start to the SANFL season, yet he's still second on the goal-kicking ladder. As we go through the round that is going to unfold all this afternoon, all matches this afternoon, Port and Central down at Alberton, and the Panthers will take on Westies at Noarlunga, and of course the round getting underway last night under lights with that 67-point win by Norwood. Let's look at how the Eagles and North Adelaide have performed head-to-head over time. And the Eagles really, since they came into the competition in 91, you can see there, that suggests they have dominated North Adelaide. They certainly have here at Woodville. Down the bottom there, 12 of the last 14 they've won here.
Yeah, look, Woodville Oval is one ground that the Eagles really have that home ground advantage. They play it really well. They've got a lot of guys on their side that can penetrate with their kicks. Your Lee Trebies, your Luke Jarrett's on their left foot. They really play the ground well. And look, North Adelaide just have to really get their game going and play that aggressive, hard-running style of footy and get the ball in deep to their key forwards.
Well, we go down to Mark Soderstrom, as usual, on the boundary line. And Soder's back from a trip overseas. Tell me, how is your direction? You end up in Vancouver whilst trying to get to London.
Yes, well, an angry ash cloud from a volcano in Iceland put a stop to any chance we had of getting to Europe. So I went the other way, ended up in the US and inched our way up to Vancouver and ran the marathon in Canada on Sunday. There's the starting line there. I'm hiding somewhere way up the back, away from all the speedy guys at the front. But lovely to be back here at the SANFL football and seeing the Eagles sitting on top of the ladder. Today, Jay Schultz comes in for his first game. Now, he was drafted out of the Eagles many moons ago before he had the chance to play a senior match. So he's going to make his debut in senior level for the Eagles today. In for Matt Broadbent. Broadbent, an emergency for Port Adelaide over in Melbourne today. Now, there was some whisper that he was going to play for the Power, given that Hamish Hartlett withdrew with an injury. But Tom Logan was pulled out of the Glenelg side last night. He'll play for Port Adelaide today, so that means that Matty Broadbent's over there really just watching the match there. Craig Parry was named to play his first game for the Eagles today. He played in the reserves after coming back from a shoulder problem. And as we mentioned, the Eagles sitting pretty on top of the ladder.
Last week against Westies was a real dour contest, and the week before there was a good response from the week before against South, who I thought they played really well, but I thought we were down a bit that day.
I think you've been quoted as saying the team's at about 70% of what you'd want them to be. What's missing?
It's probably just our ball movement. I think we're winning enough of it, and I think that we're entering the 50 enough, but we're just not clean at the moment, and I think that our skills under pressure need to pick up a bit, so we're not far off.
Yeah, here's the Eagles lineup, and for me, that the midfield in this side is the key. You've got your Justin Sicolellas, Mark McKenzie, but the one that I really look forward to is Lukey Powell. He's been in terrific form. Someone that probably goes a little bit unnoticed by a lot of people outside the footy club, but within the Eagles lineup, he's just he's their heart and soul and wins that hard footy. Again, Nick Solder up forwards, the leading goalkeeper in the competition, so if they can get that ball movement forward to him, he's going to be a handful.
And so does the Eagles. Been very consistent this season. North not so, and they've made some changes this afternoon.
Yeah, an absolute raft of changes. 7, in fact, and 4 debutants. We'll talk a bit about some of those younger boys as the day goes on, but it would have been another change too, because Reece Archard was named to come back into the side after a groin problem. He's not going to play today, and he's probably still, in fact, a couple of weeks from returning to the Roosters. So Reece Archard not in today, which is a big blow for them. And I think you'll find the challenge for North Adelaide today will be turning around that terrible performance against the Dogs last week.
Yeah, we've had a really positive week. We had a really good meeting Monday night where the focus has just been on attitude and want to be in the contest, and the boys have set out some pretty clear guidelines as to what they want, and we picked the side accordingly, so we're really excited about giving some young guys the opportunity and seeing how they go.
A lot of changes, I think 7 in fact. How are you going to incorporate all of that to get a nice seamless transition?
Yeah, it was a tough call because we had 4 forced and there was people in the side that we felt needed to go back to the 2, so we still had to make the decision, do we make another 3? In the end we decided to. The beauty is we train as a whole group, as a whole club all the time. The two's played similar, try and play the similar game plan, so I don't think it'll be too much of an issue.
And as we look at North Adelaide's lineup, the outs are going to be the big concern for North today, and just find that consistency. Look for Jimmy Allen to have a really big game, probably the informed player of the competition at the moment, and big Clint Alloway up forward looking to take some strong marks and kick some winning scores.
Well, we'll see what's going to unfold. It's welcome for the first bounce to Michael Maney.
Thanks, Neil, and good to have Brett on board. He'll give us a pretty good view of what is going to take place, particularly a specialist in that midfield area. Toby Stribling may have Luke Powell, I should say, or Justin Cicolella, the bounce. Alloway in the ruck was pretty good for North Adelaide last week in the ruck. Here's young Teasdale. Doesn't look anything like Graham Teasdale that used to play in the AFL or the VFL. Does he, Brett? Only a short player. Graham Teasdale, the 1977 Brownlow medalist. They're having just milling around in the middle. Free kick, holding on. Stribling darts away, but the free kick is coming back to Alloway.
Yeah, the interesting thing to see is Clint Alloway starting in the ruck, not up forward, where his normal position is at centre-half forward.
Out on a lead, taking a nice mark out there was Platten. Kick inboard, Wyman. Good play, got it onto his boot. Boots up forward, Stewart. They've got Gill and also Stewart up there. Jared always safe and secure back there. What's the weather like down there, Mark? Anything like Vancouver?
Well, a lot warmer here, I can tell you. It's an absolute cracking day at this stage, 21 degrees. The forecast is that there could be some showers later on at the stage. There's a little bit of cloud cover, but it looks nice at the moment and very warm for the players, in fact.
Thanks, Mark. Ormond just clears the area, looking for Geddes, and Geddes just runs it out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in young Teasdale there with a bit of interesting do. That's a pretty good do. Brett, ever had a hairdo like that?
In the early days, I had the long locks, but nothing like that, no.
Spent a bit of time on that, or you spend no time on it at all. Gillhouse in the ruck. Well done, Roundtree over the top. McKenzie just takes the body away, looking for Geddes. Geddes will see this one to the line, and it'll be another boundary throw-in.
Umpires wearing red socks this afternoon as well. A free kick picked up to Matt Wright. So Wright looks inside 50. Stewart comes on the lead. Ball sat on his head. Eagles get a chance to knock it away. Eventually it comes back and off one step. A kick towards goal is through for the minor score from Thring. So Sodas, that gives us a chance to look at the Eagles bench.
On the pine there, Scotty Lewis in the middle there talking about hairstyles, looking magnificent. Stuart Hill and also Matty Goldsworthy.
Thanks, Mark. Kicking out duties to be done by James Stewart, who's wearing number 16, Kenny McGregor's old number. Goes out wide. Miles is the target. Just has to feed it off to Cicolella. And they work it nicely down through the back. This is Ormond, who's got a lead from Jared, who's run off half back. He's got two to contend with here, but he's got some pace, Jared. Did it okay, then sat it up, hoping for a mark. Salter's there, tries to get through. Thought he might have been legged, tries to fox it out the back. Salter's got it now, kicks. Welch was in there as well. Ball on ground, he's just tripping over. Here's Banner, kicks it high. Floats over to the pocket and will go out of bounds. That's what's happening on the north bench down there, Sodas.
Well, Big Bretty Hara playing game 150 against his old side. He's on there. And two of the four debutants, James Bennett from Belconnen in the ACT and John Boris, who's come through the junior program here at North Adelaide.
See some more youngsters getting an opportunity. Ball tucked away. Handball comes out. Damon White looks for Allen. And Allen will chip it. And it'll go to Delvins. Delvins goes down the line and finds Wyman. Good mark by Jaron Wyman.
Wyman is quick, wants to play on quickly. Don't know about that hand pass. Allen wasn't happy with it, I'm sure. Not now. Treby intercepts. Wyman comes back, does the same, and we'll get a ball up. They had an opportunity to break. They didn't really take it. So the ball up at half forward left for the Eagles. Gillhouse, the taller of the two ruckmen. Alloway the stronger that time, but palmed it straight to an Eagles opponent. We'll get another ball up. So only the one minor score to North Adelaide. Wright ducked the head, I thought. Got one high, said the umpire. Matty Wright forcing his way through. Alloway's going to turn around. No. Gill dropped what he should have taken. A chest mark missed. Miles Attacking opportunity for the Eagles now. Grokey, couple loose inside 50, and somehow he managed to pick out a North Adelaide jumper. Allen with a bit of space. Just sends it wide for Thring, and overlapping was Ivans. And Ivans goes back through the middle. Now they'll come this side of the ground. That was Platten with the ball, and now Wright. Still defensive side of centre wing. Stribling. Back through the middle, Ivans was available, but only briefly. So instead he goes to Chip Allaway. Gilhouse let him go. Allaway springs it wide. Again, it's Thring, and Thring with the direct deposit straight down the ground off the chest. Allman comes in. Boy, it's been ineffective, shall we say, going forward by both sides.
Yeah, both sides playing a really free-flowing game of footy at the moment, but just can't finish off inside 50. So the side that gets that first mark inside 50 should put the first score on the board.
A lot of players around the ball. Gilhouse in there. And is there a free kick? Mackenzie is pleading his case. Jared thinks it's a free kick to him. And the umpire's coming back. He's going to ball it up. The ball just sort of squirted out. So we'll take two. Gilhouse got it down. Wyman somehow. Platten, left footer, is so close, but not close enough. Another behind.
Yeah, key for North Adelaide today will be those crumbing forwards. Your Jaron Wymans and the little fellas getting around the Alloways and the Stewarts just to get that ball off the ground and kick those opportunistic goals.
6 minutes in, just the two scoring opportunities, or maybe not opportunities, certainly shots, both minor for North Adelaide. Grieger with the unusual kicking style. Turns it over, does he? Well, Damon White put himself at the front. Good little step there by Thompson, and then they managed to get it all the way back to Ivans. Normally steady with the kick. A couple of players spalling each other, Wright and Gill. Eventually it comes again to Wright. Good vision, brings it to this side of the ground. Delvins was loose, hands it off to the disposal king, and Allen goes long for Allaway, who'll ghost in from behind and should take it. No, he doesn't. Minor score. Had a good chance there, Clint Allaway.
Yeah, great vision by Jimmy Allen to find Allaway running back to the pocket, but just couldn't hang on to the mark on the goal line.
James Allen been in good goal-kicking form this year. 7 goals won. Kick to centre half back. Mark taken by Luke Powell. Such a consistent performer. Out to the wing. Good mark out there. That's Schultz. Interesting kick. White away to Ivans. Ivans has got Thring, but just pulled the kick. Wright took the mark, then squeezed the kick out to Delvins. That was clever. Allen's in space. Now North can really set up from here. The leads are coming from everywhere. Allen doesn't know quite whether to kick or handball. Then got fed it out to Sloan. Now Sloan from 47 loads up a long kick and misses. Good build-up. They've missed a couple of opportunities by not taking marks, Brett, but that was a pretty positive build-up and Sloan couldn't quite finish.
Yeah, you'd think a player of Rory Sloan's calibre would finish there off, but the Eagles really need to shut down Jimmy Allen. Far too much pace for a player of his quality.
So a quick play on. And the long kick from Stewart out into the outer side of the ground. Grieger took possession, wants to hand pass it off. Maybe he should have kicked. Turned it over, gave a chance for Stribling. Platten, got one very high from Sikalella. That might even, well, half a chance that was reportable even. Swinging arm crack in the side of the face.
Yeah, just a lazy arm from Sika, the throw out there, but as we see on the replay, probably looked a little bit worse than what it actually was.
Meanwhile, the kick, the disposal wasn't good enough inside the forward 50, and so it's turned over plus 25, and the Eagles get an opportunity for a little bit of relief, and just right now, inside 50, 6-2 in favour of North Adelaide. So Stewart away with a couple of bounces through the middle of the ground. Wants a runner. Eventually gave it to Powell, and he was taken down immediately. Did he dispose of the ball correctly? Well, the umpire thought so, and then Schultz was taken down, and we'll get a ball up.
Lost his way there, Stewart, didn't he? Just kept running.
Just needed to have a little bit more awareness about himself through the centre of the field.
Thompson. McIntyre, looked like slow motion there. Ivans got a man in short. That's his captain in Damon White. White thought about it over the top to Thring, but then kicked to a Gorman leap. Grokey had his head over the ball. In comes Trevey, surely a free kick. It'll go to Nick Gill, who was held off the football. Nick Gill thought about Alan Short. Searching kick. Oh, Stewart went up a bit early. That's Daniel Stewart. Jared through traffic. Handball over the top. Treby got it from Ormond, and then Treby will win a free kick. And they go on with it a bit. Clint Alloway. I don't know whether young Ormond could be tangling with Clint Alloway. I don't think that's
a couple of big boys in that little scuffle.
Here's Stewart. Let's see if he can do a little better. Still got some open ground in front. Still confused. Got it to Miles, then back to Stewart, and he's got a lead on in Jared. And Jared's between wing and half back. Just kicks down the line. Good kick. Finds Roundtree. Thought about by hand. They're always thinking of the first handball. He goes on with it. High kick. Welsh is in position A. Can't take the mark. Over the back, Ivans. Ivans goes down the line. The whistle on play. And there was a bit of work being done behind the play. And she's on. Allen's got the ball racing down. But there's a bit of a Donnybrook on here. Nick Salter and Brett O'Hara in his 150th. Umpires trying to come in and settle them down. I think they're sorted out now. They've got rid of that bit of energy they won't have for the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think Bretty O'Hara just getting a feel for the game, and he's 150 against his old side.
Had 79 games with the Eagles before he swapped over to North Adelaide. Gee, that was a loose hand pass as well. Treby in solidly. Will get a ball up. And there was a little bit of push and shove here. And I think, in fact, you can't see it there, but I think Jay Cheap was one of the ones who started it all off. Tempting to say it was a cheap shot, but anyway. Roundtree towards the line, and that's in the back. So the umpires will be looking for that. That was clever of Roundtree. Put himself over the ball, give himself a chance to get the free kick at a time when the umpires will be very wary. They want to separate the players. So long down to half forward, and a great grab under pressure taken by Grokey. There were 3 North Adelaide players attempting to get him away from the ball, and none of them successful. So Grokey from a little bit more severe than a 45-degree angle, but you'd think with his leg he would be able to carry the distance.
Yeah, there is a slight breeze. I think Soda's is probably better adept to finding that out down on the boundary, but this should push left to right, and just really needs to hang it out and let the wind just bring it back gently.
Truth be known, he's probably better on the run. His record this season, 9 goals, 6. Adam Grokey now for the first goal of the afternoon and the lead, and he's missed everything. There you go. As I said, he's better on the run.
He is. Well pointed out, Neil. Yes, Adam Grokey. He was another one having a dust up a moment ago against his old side. So O'Hara against his old side, and also Grokey. Thring to the outer side. Sloan. Just a little chip, hung in the air. Bennett had to wait, had the ball thumped away. Sloan kept running. That was good play, but it'll be a free kick to Bennett. He goes short. Bennett from the ACT over to Stribling. Stribling gets around Welsh and then goes to his man, and he boots it forward, and that was a Boris. A lot of new players in here for North Adelaide. In comes Miles, drew a free kick, got one high. Big Todd Miles will get the free kick. No, it's Grieger, in fact. Grieger on the outer side was doing a pretty good job to Geddes. Brad Geddes been in and out of the Eagles side in the last few years. Under Mick Godden is trying to consolidate. He's had a lot of injuries. Brad Geddes goes wide. Hovering is Alloway. Cheap takes the mark. Alloway couldn't stop him. You're not allowed to touch him these days. Cheap goes to a 2-on-1 to Ormond. Couldn't mark it. Treby with the paddle. Fell okay. Well done by Allen. Fed it off nicely. Stewart thought about Alloway short, then decides to go for home. Open goal square and just dribbles it through. Nick Gill's going off his nut in the pocket. But I think Daniel Stewart was well within his rights to go for the open goal square.
Yeah, open goal square, you have a shot, but just Jimmy Allen's ability to keep his feet in the contest and 2-on-1 was just outstanding on the wing.
So North Adelaide squandering opportunities. 5 points the margin. All 5 scores have been minor ones. Now Jared working hard from him. Goldsworthy can run to 50. Nobody coming at him. The chase from Thompson. Goldsworthy, lovely, neat kick inside 50. Came off the chest of Salter. Cheap with the ball. Can go to goal. He won't be under pressure. He could probably have a second kick because he was knocked down after he kicked, and on the line it was touched by Damon White, the skipper of North Adelaide, so the minor score. No, it's been paid as a mark, in fact. I thought the umpire ruled it was touched. And the central umpire obviously had the final say.
So that was paid as a mark. I thought it was touched and went through for a behind. So give me the Tipex, somebody. Ball on the outer side. Hill will do the ruck work. Over the top. Down to Wyman. Wyman's kick. Looking for Allen. Getting plenty of the ball. Back inboard. Handball from Damon White. Terrible one. Ormond used his non-preferred to Goldsworthy. You can't hold on for very long. Scribbling on the mark. Goldsworthy got a call from Jared. He lines them up, Jared. He's the thumping kick and draws it back, and he knew what was gone. He really did. He knew there was a goal there, and Jared, who's also clever on his left, popped the first goal through, and all of a sudden the Eagles in front.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of a really silly turnover by hand by Damon White to Jimmy Allen, and you get the ball in Lukey Jared's hands running forward anywhere within 60. Such a beautiful left foot kick, typical left footer, just finished with a terrific goal.
James Allen, 8 disposals already, 3 kicks, 5 handballs.
Just getting far too much space at the moment, Jimmy Allen. They really need, he's one player that you just can't afford to let run loose.
Well, Ormond's got the job on him, although I see Banner's gone into the centre circle then to go with him. Lewis and then Sikalella, and there's Ormond out the back. Lovely disposal to Cheap. Cheap can run, decides to cut infield with the hand pass, which sort of fell between two. Off the left foot, Hill. Inside forward 50, great pick up by Goldsworthy. And then Lewis, underground, probably the best kick he could perform in that situation. Goldsworthy, great pick up. Snatched by Welsh. Wow. Definition of something out of nothing.
Yeah, he's made a career out of being that opportunistic, I guess, mid-sized forward, Scotty Welsh, and just his ability to, again, hold his feet and just smart to be able to get the kick away around the corner and finish off for the Eagles. But as you said, Scotty Lewis under pressure, just the ability to get that ball forward, and forwards playing in front was the key to that ball movement.
Yeah, we'd be surprised. Just the 8th goal this year for Scotty Welsh. But he's had Nick Salter up there and Adam Gropey been kicking goals, so they've been sharing it around a bit.
So yeah, it's a very dangerous forward line, especially with the ball movement the Eagles can produce out of the middle.
Well, with Banner coming into that mix too, and also Schultz. Sikalella throws it out wide. The handball got to Allen. That came from Platten. Allen goes in short, bouncing ball. Waited for it, did Alloway, but Grieger just got the bit between the teeth. Jared, handball over the top, snatched by Delvins. Dodging, weaving is Wyman. Has a bounce. Will he do a Luke Jared? He sits it up. He goes long, and he's missed to the near side. So they've got their first 6-pointer of the game. They booted 6 straight behinds.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel Healy would be really happy with Jaron Wyman there. He had a couple of players inside he could have chipped or handballed the ball over the top to in a better position, but elected to take it on himself and finish up just missing to the left-hand side.
Eagles, well, they've had plenty of practice at this, bringing the ball in from a behind. Geddes, dangerous kick. Very dangerous. Well done by Wyman. Slapped it out nicely for Gill. Gill, did he overreach on his skills? Well, instead of going for the ball, Delvins was more interested in going the body, and the Eagles able to sweep it away. Here's Jared. Jared thought briefly about maybe using his right foot. In the end, he went with the left and turned it over. Oh, great tackle coming in there from Schultz on Ivans. Will be play on? No. So Schultz with the free kick. Just the one arm was enough to drag down Ivans. The Eagles get it wide. Now, there's not a lot ahead of them. They may have to try and go round the zone that North Adelaide has set up. Schultz in the middle, not able to smother the ball. Cheap in with support. And he's got Lewis available. Lewis off the right foot, just bangs it forward, see what happens. It's rolled out the back, chance for McIntyre. And on the boundary line, content, I think, to be taking himself and the ball across the line.
Just the Eagles really just pushing the ball forward at all costs at the moment. As we mentioned, North are setting a lot of numbers back and just need to really keep playing in front and make the most of those opportunities when they do come.
Ball hits the ground. Handball over the top from Gorman. Wright got it away to Sloane. Sloane's got to give it back to Wright here and may get it back himself. Now he gets it to Wright. Wright has got the staggers a bit, but it's okay. Handball over the top. Running onto it is Stribling. Stribling with the handball. Bennett, bit of a fumble. Tried to get it to Platten. Bounced off one. Well done, Platten. Goes inside 50. Good looking kick. Big pack. Ball thumped away. Gilhouse is at the back. Let's see if the big man can hang on to the footy. Gets the staggers, but got it away to Mackenzie. Mackenzie's handball just seemed to linger a while. Miles, under pressure, virtually rushes it through for a behind. Well done, Nick Gill. Forward pressure.
Yeah, he has that ability, Nick Gill, with his speed and athleticism to put that forward pressure on, and something that North Adelaide really need down there with Eagles backline running the ball out so easily at the moment.
Oh, Hill got himself into a bit of trouble. They work at the banner. It was a free kick played advantage, I think, down the ground. Grokey again, another strong contested mark. Salter goes on the lead. Grokey tries to get it to him. Salter with hands in the back, it looked like, and McIntyre forced it over the line. Did pretty well. Just a problem there for Damon White. Maybe a little bit of a leg problem out of that. He's going back towards the defensive goal square for North Adelaide. In fact, there's nobody within 25-30 metres of him. Grokey flips it over the back. Thompson with a hand pass to Allen. Allen, dangerous give to Stribling. Had good support from Sloane. Looks for support. It's not forthcoming. Eventually he decides creeping off the bench was Thring. He came through the interchange gates and got the ball. And now he looks just to put it into space for Wyman to run onto, opposed to Mackenzie, who will have to smother it. He can't. Wyman should be a goal. And he sneaks it through for the first for North Adelaide. And they're in front.
Just a bit sneaky coming off the bench there. Thring to sneak on it. And look, Wyman's pace up forward against the Mackenzie's always going to win out. Unfortunately, Macca just fumbled slightly inside the attacking 50 for North. And look, Jaron Wyman's one of those little small forwards we spoke about earlier that is opportunistic and can kick a terrific goal when needed. And look, his skills around his body are second to none.
Booted his first behind for the year just earlier, and last week 6 frees against. So really was giving them away last week, Wyman. Here we go. O'Hara away to Wright. Wright kicks high. Platten's going to have to run for this. He won't get there. Good Eagles numbers. They share it. Jared got it from Roundtree. Jared back in board to Sikalella. Got rid of O'Hara. That's all right. Now off the ball, a free kick will go to the Eagles, but I don't know why he even bothered to blow it because they had the footy anyway. Here's Goldsworthy. Real worm burner in toward the forward line. Handball comes out. Player was caught. In goes Hill. Salter's there. A lot of players milling around the football. Umpire says, give it to me.
Last man up there, Luke Ivans, back at the club this season after a season, I think, overseas, just travelling around a bit. Alloway, McIntyre, Wright, and then White. And White clears it to the far side. Nothing much to go to except that man, Platten. He had to hit him. He was surrounded by Eagles. And a flock of Eagles comes at him right now. Not bad. Just decided to back off and start again. Wright found some space. Again, nobody attacking him, so he could go down the line looking for the long reach of Stewart. Came free somehow, and Stewart from the opposition took the ball. Now Cheap. Wasn't the greatest of kicks, should have been taken though by Welsh. And now they get another opportunity to clear North Adelaide. Nobody really available. And that's why they're forced back to the goal square. McIntyre, his kick was not good enough. Pulled down with Sloane, and umpire got him. Incorrect disposal. Good tackle coming in there from Cheap. And that man Stribling will have to turn over the ball.
Yeah, the forward pressure there by Cheap was terrific. But as we look at the game, both sides are sitting a lot of numbers back behind the ball, so it's really hard going forward. We saw North got held up across their half-back line. Just simply, they had no numbers forward of the play to kick the footy to.
Not an enormous, for all those numbers behind the ball, not an enormous amount of pressure or contested football, though, is there?
No, a lot of loose players, and as I mentioned earlier, Jimmy Allen's had far too much space. And
Cheap puts the Eagles back in front, I should say, by 5 points. And you were saying, Brett, yeah, not a lot of real contested hard football around the ball at the moment. A lot of mistakes in these sort of situations.
Yeah, just not having the ability to move the ball forward with pace. We saw North End were held up inside their defensive 50, purely the fact that the Eagles had all their numbers forward of that play. So what that does is it gives some indecision to the ball player, and as we saw then, Cheek just put some pressure on. North player had nowhere to kick the footy to, so in the end he just gets held holding the ball, and a great finish by Cheapy.
Just on that, boys, Eagles have had 22 of the last 30 marks.
Yeah. Out of the centre, Lewis, Ivans, tried to trap it. Goldsworthy was there. Off the ground went to White. In goes Grokey. Fierce at the football. Thring tries to push off. That's pretty much holding the ball, but the umpire doesn't see it that way. If you grab it, fend off, get caught, I think it ought to be against you. I'm going to talk to you about hands in the back in a moment, Brett. It's an interesting one, that what the coach's instructions are these days. We'll probably get a chance here, Brett. What does Mark Micken been saying traditionally? You can't put your hands in the back. Is he saying try and put your elbows in the back, trying to do something? How do you get around it?
You just have to be really careful. You can't, as we've seen today, you just can't put your hands anywhere near the opposition, anywhere in the back vicinity, even on the shoulder or the side these days, they tend to call it. So you just really need to work that body out, and more just about your timing and when you jump to spoil.
Roundtree with the free kick, and then got it to Jarrett, who kicks it long, the big fist by Damon White, and gets it out of bounds. Yeah, it's one of those tough ones in football, I guess, that the game's evolving and the players have to evolve with it.
I'm pretty lucky in that scenario. I don't take too many marks or marking contests, so I don't have to worry about it.
Well, I can't recall calling the number 2 from the Bays flying across the top of the pack and taking a screamer. Up goes Alloway, down. Handball came out from Williams to Thring. Got it back to Allen. Now James Allen goes across the face. The kick had to be pinpoint, and it was to McIntyre, who marks in front of Schultz. McIntyre goes very short to White. Must have just been the 15. White out of half back, and Boris was in some space. He hit him, but it's quarter time at Woodville Oval, and North Adelaide getting no reward on the scoreboard. 1 goal, 7-13. They trail the Eagles, who completely the opposite, have kicked 3 goals straight, 18. But a good quarter of football, Brett. It was pretty hard and tough in the clinches.
Yeah, look, early on it was that both sides manned up and played some pretty physical, hard-hitting footy. But the longer the quarter get, the more free and open that both sides became. And as we just mentioned, North was sitting a lot of numbers behind their footy, and the Eagles were doing the same. So just made that stagnant brand of football. But again, the Eagles were fantastic in moving their ball from defence. We saw Lukey Jarrett had a ton of footy. For North Adelaide, Jimmy Allen's just had far too much space for my liking, and a player of his calibre, you can't afford to give him space, because every time he goes forward with the footy, North Adelaide look dangerous.
Yeah, and unfortunately for North Adelaide, they just haven't capitalised on the scoreboard either. We talk about scoreboard pressure at the moment. It's points pressure, and that's about it for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They've had opportunities, albeit tough opportunities, but they just haven't made the most of them. And against sides like the Eagles, you just have to kick those goals that you probably shouldn't normally.
Absolutely. Let's look at the opening match of this round, and it was last night under lights in the parade. Norwood taking on Glenelg. Norwood going in with a confidence-boosting 2 wins against their 2 arch rivals in Port and Sturt. And even so, I think everybody thought Tigers favourites. And in fact, we go back, I think it was 2007, where Norwood only managed something like 1 goal 3 or 1 goal 5 against the Tigers under lights. It wasn't the same last night.
No, look, pressure and tackling and the ability to win the contested footy is something Glenelg really pride themselves on. Last night it was the opposite. Norwood really beat Glenelg in those tight contested situations. And look, Nathan Bassett, you know, there was talk earlier about they were going to be wooden spooners and not win a game, but their last 3 weeks has just been outstanding, and the confidence in the group at the moment is second to none. You know, they're playing with a lot of passion, a lot of heart, and having someone like Taylor Walker, as we see up forward, just gives them that real focal point, and he's a pretty special type of player.
Another big crowd, or 4,800, just a few over that at the parade to see this match, and it was close. You know, 4 goals in it at half-time. Certainly the Bays, you got the impression that if they click, things would come good for them. But as you said, Norwood, the pressure and the points production that they got, 9 goals to 3 in the second half, and a fantastic boost for them. And remembering, of course, we go back to their mistakes with the salary cap. It meant that they weren't allowed to recruit this season. So they're basically working with what they had last season and their juniors.
Yeah, I think just it comes back to that feel in the group, and obviously Bass has got the boys really playing for each other and playing that really spirited type of footy, and it doesn't matter who you've got, you've just got to play the type of brand of footy, and as we saw, a 67-point win to Norwood over Glenelg was outstanding last night.
Absolutely, it give them an enormous amount of confidence. And as we turn back to this match, you contrast the scoring ability that they had last night, Norwood, in kicking 16-13, and this afternoon I don't think we're going to see a winning score like that based on the first quarter when both sides struggled going forward. We know that's because both sides played a lot of players behind the ball.
Yeah, look, both sides do push numbers behind the ball, and you know, we saw Lukey Jarrett kick a fantastic goal running forward. That's simply because of the fact that North Adelaide have pushed their numbers back, and the halfback flankers are going to get a lot of time and a lot of space to be able to push forward. So look for that throughout the day. Players kicking goals from outside 50. Eagles probably will have the better of it because of the fact they do have guys like Lukey Jarrett, Scotty Lewis, Lee Treby's another who can kick a long goal.
Now we see here just the production line of forward play. It's just not there, is it?
No, there hasn't been a lot of clean footy. The Eagles did have some early. They dropped a lot of simple marks inside their attacking forward 50 and just couldn't capitalise on that. And North Adelaide are a bit the same. They've had opportunities to kick those opportunistic goals. We see Jaron Wyman here finish with one, but they've had 3 or 4 other opportunities. They just didn't capitalise. And, you know, if they're going to win the game of footy today, they really need to finish off in front of goal.
Yeah, their 1-goal-7 could easily been, you know, 4-goals-4.
Yeah, if they move the ball quick early on, they got a lot of contest forward, and they do have the Jaron Wymans and Jimmy Allens floating around up there that can kick those goals. So if they can make the most of those opportunities, they're well in this footy game.
Sure, Jay Cheek kicking that last goal of the quarter there for the Eagles, and a 5-point lead for the home team. And just Wyman, the only player able to successfully kick straight, at least, for the Roosters. As we just look at some of the stuff that's evolved on and off the ball in this afternoon's match. Just a little bit of whack behind the ear for Justin Sikalella. And then this is the major incident, if you like. Just a little bit testosterone flying, but nothing much else.
Yeah, just a bit of push and shove and huff and puff. But, you know, there's not a lot in that. The free kick was given down the ground, and, you know, that's just a bit of showboating, I think. You wouldn't have seen me involved in that because I would have got hurt.
Yeah, well, you'd be on the ground by then because you'd take the dive.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's look down at the Eagles. And in their huddle at the moment, they just talking over exactly what's going on, and so does you've been listening in.
Yes, had to listen to both huddles, actually. We'll start with North Adelaide. Obviously, the conversion was an issue for them, obviously missing so many of those goals. But Daniel Healy just talked about the side being a little bit stagnant from half-back. He just encouraged his players to, or challenged them, in fact, to just run on and give them a little more options for the boys when they do have that. A couple of other areas he talked about was 11 missed tackles. He said the Eagles look dangerous, look powerful when there were those missed tackles. So he said if you tighten up that area, I think we'll be okay. Another area too also that he looked at was the energy of the 4 debutants. Really pleased with the way they've gone about things. Over at the Eagles, well, Michael Godden said that the way that North Adelaide are playing pushes numbers behind the ball, that they're going to tire, so try and hit them hard in this first 10 minutes of the second term and just tire them out a little more.
Thanks for that, so as we go through those statistics through the first quarter, and I guess that tells a big story, doesn't it? Centre breaks are fairly even, the inside 50s are fairly even, the free kicks are fairly even. It tells a similar story.
Yeah, I think that the one big study is the behinds. North Adelaide had a lot of footy inside 50, but just couldn't capitalise.
Let's go to Michael for the start of the second term.
Inaccurate kicking by the Roosters. They'll need to shore that up. The Eagles, 3 goals straight. Bad kicking, but it's still a close encounter. And we're on world record pace for free kicks as well, according to Chris Kendall, our statistician, who'll update us on the ball winners, some major ball winners in the first quarter. Another free kick, so we get one going in about 20 seconds. So umpire Ralston obviously knows that there's a record on for the offing today. Here's Thring with the free. George Thring, cross from Sturt. Been pretty good lately. Gilhouse got in the way, took the mark and/or free kick. Let's pay him the mark, not the free, but free off the ball to Grieger, is it? No, he's going to give it back to Gilhouse. Away to James Stewart, who mucked around with the football in the first quarter. Mackenzie to Geddes. Geddes, nice and short. Miles, juggling act, had Jarrett in short. Decided to go further down the line. The target was Schultz. Well done by Damon White. And let's have a look at the other ground. Central leads Port by 30 points at Alberton Oval. So West Adelaide in front of the Panthers by 9 points at Noarlunga Oval. So West early leaders there. So here's James Allen. Always working hard. Gill, lovely hands. Dropped a couple of chest marks in the first term. Got that one away. Stribbling. Wouldn't come back to him. Needs to load up, but that was a poor kick. Ormond, that was a poor attempt for a mark. But then had to feed it off to Gilhouse, who's had a few touches. Jared, look at the fumbles at the moment. Jared's kick is wayward. You wouldn't expect to see that. Gorman trapped it nicely. Over the top. Away goes Thring. Back to Gorman, who just kept running. Can he shake off the tackler? Outside 50. Loads up, a long kick. It fades away. And it's out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, again, we see North Adelaide just not making the most of their opportunities forward. And one of the really good contests I'm looking forward to the rest of the afternoon is Damon White on Jay Schultz.
Powell just taking the short kick. Interesting, North Adelaide next week got Norwood. So the Redlegs on a roll. Of course, they've won the last 3 under lights. They don't get to play under lights again at home until round 21, so maybe that'll make a difference. Just a little bit of a touch-up after the ball had gone through, and so the free kick will go against White, and it'll go to Schultz. Oof. Just in the back of the head. Now, Treby's a left footer, so you think he'll be looking inboard. He's got one over the top and short. Roundtree quite upset that he didn't get it. Now Treby goes down the line and high, and the North Adelaide defenders ready to lap it up. They knock it wide for Allen. Allen can go back inside defensive 50. Available was Thring, and running for him was Wright. White was short. Nothing much available. And that's why he has to hold up. And Goldsworthy was the man putting the pressure on. And so he goes back to Wright. White and Wright. Keep saying it. Don't say it quickly.
Move it on.
Matty Wright comes short again. Thompson waits in the middle. O'Hara. Can he spot him? He's a big target and he's missed him. You wouldn't think he could kick it over his head, but he did. Geddes the other way. Magnificent pass for Hill. And running back to the goal square, Schultz. Or he goes 25 metres out to Goldsworthy, who's got one over the top, and Banner can stroll into goal. It's that easy when you do it properly. And the Eagles have 4 straight on the board.
We just see another major turnover from North Adelaide through the middle of the ground. Against this side, you just can't afford to turn over the footy that easily. And as we saw Eagles go forward, you know, it just kills you. Everyone's running forward hard to make the play, and you turn the footy over through the centre of the ground and you're going to pay for it.
Mitch Banner, 3 behinds last week, so we'd be glad to see that one go through the big sticks. We'll go to Chris in a moment with some major ball winners in that first quarter. 11-point lead to the Eagles. Banner gets his first on the board. Normally have another ball up here, Chris, so get the microphone on and poised to go.
Yeah, Luke Jarrod leading with 11 for the Eagles. Cheap and Stewart on 7 for North Adelaide. Allen 9, Ivans 9, 11, and White is on 8. And we're on Budgie Watch, boys. He's the only player not to register a disposal on the ground.
Budgie Watch. High kick by Ormond. No mark from Schultz. Doing the roving there was Banner, the last goal kicker. Platten, wobbly old ball. Looking for Alloway, had it knocked away. Good recovery, Alloway. That was terrific. Back inboard to Wright. Wright's got to get round Jared, but that was a brilliant tackle by Jared. I think it was a bit hot, mind you. But the tackle did stick. Jared just purrs away from half-back and delivers beautifully to Schultz on a lead. He's got Salter in the middle, but Schultz may go further down the line to Welch. Horrible kick by Schultz. Welch goes to ground. Thumps it away. Goldsworthy got it to boot quickly. Into the pocket. Hill can't take the mark. Gee, they've dropped some chest marks today. Sliding away. Hill gets his kick away, and he was out of bounds, so the ball will be thrown in. They've dropped a lot of those diving chest marks.
It's about the 3rd or 4th they've dropped inside 50, which look like easy chest marks.
Player down there might get marked too. Was that Jay Cheap down there who's getting a rub mark?
Yeah, Michael, just getting a bit of relief there on the glutes, and Jay Cheap back in the side last week, I think, after that ankle injury he hurt against Sturt, so he's going very well after a big pre-season.
Here's Gorman working hard to the line, flicks out the back to Thompson. Handball looking for Thring, couldn't find him. It'll be a ball in.
Ball came out in the tackle.
Doesn't look like he's in too much discomfort down there.
Just enjoying the sun on a nice Saturday afternoon.
This is a beautiful afternoon for footy, actually, isn't it? There's not much of a breeze at all to speak of around that 20-21 degree mark. Here's Wright making the most of it. Long kick towards centre wing. Grieger backing up. Only player to go for the ball, really. He held off Wyman, who's given away 25 now by creeping over the mark. Let's have another look, and Wyman pulls up, but then he edged sideways instead of going, well, sideways in a semicircle, if you understand what I mean, rather than actually going backwards towards the mark. So Grieger, who isn't the greatest at quick kicks, off to Cicolello, who hasn't had too many kicks. That one was a hand pass. Now McKenzie, and then Stewart inside 50, and Hill on the lead again. He's been a target in this quarter.
Just as we look at the ground now, there's no one Eagles side of the centre. North Adelaide obviously pushing a lot of numbers behind, and the Eagles look to me as if they've really shut down and gone to play a one-on-one style of footy
Eagles
in the early stages of this second quarter.
So Hill from 45 starts it on the right post, brings it back nicely, and their delivery in front of goals is just there every time, the Eagles, and it's the difference between the two sides.
Just see the uncanny Benny Grieger, because of the fact that North Adelaide have pushed their numbers up. He's floated up across half forward, half back for them, and his ability to stay in the contest and take a mark. The Eagles won't want him kicking the footy because, as we mentioned, he's not the greatest kick of the ball. But look for the Cicolellas and the McKenzies and Scotty Lewis to get around Benny Grieger when he does take a catch, because he will look to dish off every time he gets it.
Eagles 4 marks inside their attacking 50, North Adelaide none for the game.
Thanks, Chris. So many forward options, the Eagles, and we were wondering before the game how they're going to fit them all in. Here's Allen, and let's have a look at that football. I think it's got owner Jay Allen on it. He's had a fair bit of it. Here's Geddes. Geddes peels the kick off and finds Goldsworthy under pressure from Thompson. Lovely mark. Cruising by was Allman. He's a left footer as well. 3 left footers. Here's Jarrett. Lovely kick. Spearing ball to Powell. Powell's got a runner. Insulter. Put down your glasses. He kicks long, wobbly, but is it straight? No. He normally kicks those, Nick Salter. He didn't get a best piece of it. And this mark from Goldsworthy. Brett?
Yeah, a lot of pressure there from little Tristan Watson too.
So Salter, probably the most accurate kick in the SANFL, kicks the first minor score of the afternoon for the Eagles. Dribbling down the line, great kick, and the budgie in O'Hara about to get a possession and a disposal. And Wyman and White, now they have a chance to break. He goes for Stewart. Daniel Stewart, the long arms. Up he goes, swings on the left foot and drops it in short for Alloway. Lovely play, direct and positive and skillful.
Yeah, much better ball movement from North Adelaide. You see when they do hit their targets and they move it quick, they've got such a strong attacking forward line. They just need to, as I said, finish off with hitting those targets, and Alloway ends up with an opportunity to kick their first goal of the quarter.
Across the season, before this match, 64 goals, 63 in 6 games, but 25 of those goals came against South Adelaide in round 4. So they have been challenged, and there's a challenge. How do you describe that other than pathetic?
Disappointing.
Not good. Inaccurate.
Ordinary.
Yes, we could sort of keep going for hours. Well, McKenzie got it back to James Stewart. And in the direction of Treby. Treby at half-back. Sloan, the man on the mark. Treby, an outstanding midfielder over the years. Big leap. And the mark taken. Welsh goes into centre half forward. No mark to Goldsworthy. V. Thompson. So that was a good clash. Thompson tries to brush off. Does okay to Teasdale. The young man's got a motor. He kicks long. Alloway up against 2. Ball thumped away by Grieger. Here's an opportunity for Thring. Now Thring dodging around. Decides to give some ground back to Sloan. I thought Thring may have just wheeled onto the right and pumped it in, but decided to go back. Sloan had 4 kicks from goal, to be fair. But a good shepherd from Bennett. Then goes in short. finds his man on the outer side. Thring. Thring again. Up goes Alloway, uncontested. Now, here's an opportunity for Clint Alloway. Complete meal of the last shot at goal. And what's the betting? This one won't deviate. It'll go straight through.
Just one thing to look for while Clint's lining up for his goal is North Adelaide playing a Hawthorn-Clarkos cluster-type zone from their kick-ins. As we can see now, all their defenders have pushed up to set up this zone in case there is a behind kick.
Here's Alloway. He's got a fairly reasonable piece of that. And the goal umpire said, that's about 6 points better than the last shot you had a goal. And finally, North Adelaide get their second goal. They've had a few goes at it. They're up to their second, and Clint Alloway gets his first, and he's only booted 9 for the season. That's down on his normal take.
He does tend to spend a fair bit of time up the ground, that lead up sort of centre-half forward, and I guess with Paul Stewart back in the side playing that deeper role, he can afford to be up the ground. But normally a tremendous kick for goal. The last one wasn't so good for Clint, but as we saw then, he is a terrific finisher of the footy and can take a strong contested mark.
Only 12 points down, ball back in the middle. Hard surface out there. Teasdale slips the hand pass out, and they'll go down to half forward with a shocking kick, which turns it over immediately. So Eagles immediately back through Jarrod, the man standing on the mark. And Bennett was the player whose disposal left a little bit to be desired. So Jarrod looks long. Now, Brokey out-positioned in the end, and O'Hara able to come across and knock the ball away. So O'Hara will go against Brokey in the ruck. The two players who've actually swapped clubs, if you like. O'Hara, a former Eagle, and Brokey, a former North Adelaide Rooster. And Powell, former Geelong VFL player, trapped with the ball. O'Hara trying to shake off the attention of Grokey, and the umpire somehow saw that was a Grokey free kick. So Adam Grokey looks up forward, and he's presented with plenty of jumpers in red, but Welsh, slick hand pass Roundtree off the left foot, falling as he did so in the minor score. It's not very convincing from either side at this stage. It suggests the whole match just needs a spark.
Yeah, someone just needs to get a hold of the game and take control. Both sides at the moment very panicky, very rushed with their footy, and just need to settle down, get control of the ball and hang on to it for a bit.
Poor kick out from Thring. Wyman squeezed the kick out looking for Allen, who waited for it to bounce. O'Hara did okay to Gorman. Bennett just not good enough to Allen. So under pressure, the skills. And let's have a look at the kick out here, Brett. That's the ordinary.
Just busy.
Just got to be a bit better, a bit thorough than that. O'Hara got hands down on it. Banner thrown off the kick, right to White, to Ivans. So North out of trouble. Doing some hard running is Williams on the outer side. Quickly gets on, looking for Stewart. He's good enough to get there, but another chest mark. What's wrong with that ball today? Goodness me, it's bouncing off their chest. Miles did pretty well to get it over the top. No one can really snag it. He's back in again, Miles. Jarrod was amongst all of that, and the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up and see if you can sort yourself out. Stewart does the ruck work. Down. Williams got the kick, bouncing ball, surely a free kick to Gill. Thought it might have been a bit high, and he gets the secondary free kick. I thought the first one was high, and the second one was definitely high. Nick Gill, just outside 50. The kick out in front of Alloway, misses the target. Well done by Grieger. Got it away to Allman. Allman just pulled the kick, and cheap. Not 15, said the umpire. Allman got it back to McKenzie, and McKenzie can run.
Great kick, spots up Powell. Powell can go aggressively inside 50. He does go deep, and he looks for Salter. Well done by McIntyre. Welsh was brilliant with the road. McIntyre got him away from the ball. Now can release it quickly. The Eagles get it over the line in the end. Just Boris unable to take control of that ball. Perhaps just as well, because he did have a couple of Eagles around him. So Grokey reaches over the top. Lewis takes it pretty well. Cheap couldn't handle it. A little bit of pinball being played in there, and Allen with the free kick. Banner was a little bit too aggressive in his tackle. Quickly released. And Thring bouncing his way out of defensive 50 for North Adelaide. Hand pass into the path of Stribling. And Stribling will have to get rid of it. He just got it away in time. Wyman slid in for the mark. He likes to play on quickly. He does so this time. That'll be a free kick as well to young Williams. Jared just predicting that Williams was going to take the ball, and that time the fumble working to the advantage of the player.
Good to see North continuing to really take the game on, though, even under pressure from the Eagles.
Here's Ivans again, just props it high. Look out, the big tall figure of Stewart was there, but he couldn't take it on. Now Hill's overrun it, and now it's socket off the ground. Did it hit the post? I think it did in the end. And Gill with the minor score for North Adelaide. Just have another look at that, Brett. I got the impression it came solidly off the post in the end. It did.
Players get very nervous when they get near goal squares as a defender and near the last line of defence, Brett, don't they?
Nervous as defenders, and the eyes wide open as a forward.
Here's Jay Cheap, but plenty of space on the wing. Driving kick. Taken by Banner. Oh, Banner's got Schultz in plenty of space. He's just got to turn around and pop it through for the easiest of goals. Just out the back door goes Schultz. How did he get on his own?
As we see in the replay, because North are setting up their 18-man zone from a kick-in, if they move the ball quickly, the Eagles, and keep control of it and use their skill, there are going to be opportunities for someone to get behind that zone. And as we saw then, just Jay Schultz, 30, 40 metres on his own because of the fact that he snuck away from the zone, and North Adelaide just weren't quick enough to push back with the Eagles' quick ball movement.
Precision skills rule the day, don't they? If you can take advantage, and the Eagles certainly have. They lead by 18 points. Alloway back in the ruck. Opposed to Hill. Beautiful tap down for Sikalella. Quickly out of the middle. Into the path of Groke. He loves to run. White got him away from the ball. Hand pass left a lot to be desired. Wouldn't like to have been sitting under that.
Not the type of handball you look for or like to be under in a game of footy. The old hospital pass, as they used to call it.
So the Eagles set up with Alloway opposed to Hill. Alloway with a fist to the ball. Now possession to Treeby. Didn't like his option, but still gave it anyway. Had to. Banner, Lewis. Ball smothered. Banner again. Lewis. Ball touched. So partly smothered. Thring coming through for North Adelaide. Now a chance to break the lines. That was touched as well. Miles was just content to take it to the line. So they've managed to get it 40, 50 metres downfield, North Adelaide. They are really struggling. As I said, they're only averaging, aside from that game against South Adelaide when they kicked 25 goals, they're only averaging a bit over 7 goals a game. I think there's evidence of why this afternoon. Lewis through traffic was good, the left footer. And the former reserves Magarey medalist did pretty well. White, though, did excellently to get Groke away from the ball. Back down the line he goes. Alloway, 2 grabs, middle of the pack. Umpire call play on. Wright slipped it nicely for Thring. Down the line he goes and misses his target in Gill. And it just bounced before the line out there, so we'll get a throw in.
Thring 9 disposals this quarter, 15 for the match.
Been a real ball magnet the last few games, George Thring. Gillhouse do the ruck work with Gill. So Gill and Gillhouse. Nick Gill away to Stribling. It's Delvins, I think, who's just elevated that ball to great heights. Have a look at scores in other grounds. Central leads Port Adelaide at Alberton by 23 points. West Adelaide just in front of the Panthers by a couple of points. So score updates coming to you. Grieger takes the mark for the Eagles. In short, finds Geddes. Geddes in short to Mackenzie. Mackenzie. Umpire said play on. You don't have to do much. You just wink at the umpire and he says play on. Stewart goes in short to Jay Cheap, who's on the wing. Got to get around Boris. Does okay to Mackenzie. This is really nothing football from the Eagles. They didn't have much to go to down the line. Scrubby kick. Ivans, Allen. He'll pick out a target. And it's Stribling, who dishes off to Thompson. Thompson with pace, got away from Banner. Pulled the kick to Williams. Williams has got Platten over the top. Good handball. Back to Williams. Fumble. Needs to gather again. Searching kick by Williams. Is it going to get there? No, it's not. The big fellow in Gilhouse got back and measured the kick nicely to Treby.
Yeah, a rare kick from Gilhouse off to Treby, the left footer. Lovely dodge, and then the hand pass though probably set up Stewart a bit. O'Hara, knocked off it. Well by to Treby, but then O'Hara came again. Well done. Well done by the veteran in game number 150. Wasn't to be deterred by the fact that he got a fairly solid bump there.
Just a fantastic second effort from a big bloke in Brady O'Hara to take the hit firstly and then get up and lay a beautiful smother.
Oh, now he's got it out of the ruck. Fed it to Stribling and then to Allen. Allen approaches 50, inside 50. Disposal pretty good. It's a goal. Magnificent stuff. Go back and thank the big guy. Kept the ball in the area, won the ball in the ruck contest and fed his rover in Allen. Well, not directly, but ultimately for the goal.
Just again, Brady O'Hara in the ruck, taking the ball, second effort, the ability to dish it out. And Jimmy Allen, we've said it all day, a class act in Jimmy Allen, running inside 50. His ability to straighten on his right foot and just finish off with an unbelievable goal from a little fella who, as we said before, he's brought his own footy today. He's been that good.
Don't those little legs pump when they get somewhere near goals? He really does get going, James Allen. Such a good kick on the run.
I can't say he's a little fella because he's probably still taller than me.
Yeah, he's got you covered.
Well, you're not playing now. Do you get to bet on him for the McGarry medal?
He'd be odds on at the moment. You wouldn't get much in return.
Here's Allman. He might win one day. Out to Roundtree. Out to the wing. Measured the kick nicely, but well done by Bennett. And just knocked that ball out of bounds. Just got there to the contest. North up and about at the moment. They do trail. And they're doing some pretty good things. Gilhouse and O'Hara, they both got a piece of that. Powell taken the ground, the umpire. Well, what are we on free kick count? We're up to 27 for the match so far. We're still on world pace, Chris?
We are. The season record is 60, boys. Round 1, West versus North on the season opener.
Here's Lewis. Some smart work in traffic. Just bombs it long. Salter underneath. Finally a chest mark. Salter pulled the kick nicely. Grokey. Well done, Sloan, with courage. McIntyre. Good tackle. Goldsworthy's got him. Umpire said he was held to him, and Sloan off the ball really had the stuffing knocked clean out of him. There he is.
Yeah, terrific effort, running back with courage to put the spoil on, and he's going to be pretty sore, but just the stuff that can turn a game of footy.
Has missed a fair bit of time with injury, but have a look at that. Just brilliant. Eyes on the football and opened up the ribs. And the ball's just gone and flicked out of bounds on the full. And there will be a free kick here. And it's going to Jay Schultz. Man on the mark is Wyman. And he doesn't have very much room. He's going to run around, screw it over the shoulder, and he's just missed to the near side. Eagles lead the contest by 13. They practice that at training a fair bit. Jay Schultz, they'd get in the pocket and do all those sort of things from angles.
Party time at the end of training.
Yeah.
Just a couple of nice long bananas from the boundary line.
6-3, plays 3-8. Has Thring. Oh, gee, caught one after he hand passed that. It's play on advantage to Kristen Thompson, who went wide and kicked it out on the full. Oh, he was cleaned up, Thring, by Grokey, and a couple of North Adelaide players not happy about it. And now Grokey has just landed one. I don't know if we caught that on camera, but he landed one to the breadbasket of McIntyre. And now the umpires are coming in, and Colin Ralston has the book out. So that's all happened off the play, and that's the result from a little bit of work by Adam Grokey there. Did mention he's playing against his former club too. So a couple of players down in the hands of trainers, and they're both in Roosters colours. Umpires trying to sort it out. Just a giveaway hand pass and then whack. High and late, you would suggest, Brett.
Yeah, I don't think it was too high, just a good, I guess, the old shirt front straight up the middle, but the second one's the interesting one. I don't think we've got footage of it, but Adam Grokey just put a nice little jab into the midriff of his North Adelaide opponent, and still down on the ground in a fair bit of hurt at the moment.
Short, sharp and shiny, wasn't it?
They don't tickle when they hit flush. Believe me.
Been on the end of a few.
The trainer's still dealing with McIntyre at the moment. The umpire, meanwhile, I didn't catch, maybe Soda's, I didn't quite catch if the book actually was brought out and actually written on by Colin Rouston. He actually looks like he is now.
He's certainly, yeah, if you look, Neil, he's got the book out. We're going to have a chat with Colin at half-time, so we might get a chance to find out exactly what he's written in there.
Yes, of course, it is ladies' round, and the Heart Foundation sponsoring that, and Colin Rouston involved with the Heart Foundation. And he's still chatting to Jimmy Allen. You see there some instructions being given. Now, they're waiting to get McIntyre off the ground. That's the hold-up. And both clubs have gathered together in their little huddles to await this to be completed. We've passed 27 minutes in the second term.
You just need some really strong leadership in this situation from both sides. The side that can settle best after this is the one that can get the ascendancy. If you start to be a little bit silly, the umpires are going to be looking for those little ticky touchwood free kicks. So you just got to really keep your heads about yourself, head over the footy. The players that are going to go in hard, get the head over the footy and win the ball first, the ones that are going to get the free kicks, the umpires will be looking for that just to settle the game down and get control back. So, you know, it's going to take some really strong leadership from the players and the senior groups to get this game back on level pegging.
Mouse, you mentioned that a little punch to the midriff, if it gets you flush, does hurt, but not often we see a man come off on a stretcher from that.
No, we don't, Sodas, and when they do hit flush on the bread bucket, they can take the wind out of you, but it's normally not something you would, as you mentioned, get carried off on a stretcher for. So maybe there might be some other problems, maybe a broken rib, or who knows at this stage.
Well, Luke Powell's got the football. I swear I saw George Thring go off. Didn't go off in the interchange gates. The player came on, and then Thring came back around and went through the interchange. I don't know whether that's legal or not.
Should the free kick have been paid where the incident occurred?
Well, they're still going at it here. I guess it should have been, but there's a free to Treby, to James Stewart. This game is really got a bit touchy. Here's Miles. He gets around. Gill thought better of it. Kick long. Up they fly, and the mark taken by O'Hara. Away to Thompson. Thompson got away. Got the kick down the line, looking for Gill. You've just got to keep your head over the ball in this situation, because the player's been carted off on a stretcher. There's been some feeling, and both coaches would want them to solely concentrate on the football and just make sure your mindset's okay. Gill. I tell you what, having Nick Gill kick to you in that situation is a bit of a worry, but Ivans took the mark and got it to James Allen and half back. This quarter will go a little bit longer because of the stretcher for McIntyre. Sloan kicks long, 2-on-1. Mackenzie at the back, always had his eye on it. Powell underground, Lewis. Better handball to Treby. Treby got it back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie can have a bounce or two on the outer side. Just pulled the kick in nicely to Banner. Now, man, back in the square is Salter. He'll wait, and brilliantly done by Ivans, but it falls to Salter, and he'll kick the easiest of goals. He got back a la Jay Schultz, did Nick Salter, and kicked his first of the afternoon. That's a bit of a surprise as we hit almost 30 minutes.
Yeah, snuck behind the defence there and was unseen. He had a lot of space. He was there for a fair while, Nicky Salter, and Lukey Ivans made a terrific effort to get back and make the spoil, but just went to ground, and Nicky Salter kept his feet, kept his balance, and finishes off with a goal. But again, just the fact that North Adelaide are sitting that zone up behind the ball gives the Eagles forwards an opportunity to sneak forward and sit there on their own. So if they can get the ball and move it quickly and deep, they're going to find themselves in a fair bit of space throughout the afternoon. Gents,
just an interesting aside to the mayhem we had earlier. When George Thring came off the ground a little dazed after that Nick Salter bump, he actually came off outside of the interchange gates, so he can't return to the game, a la Heath Hopwood in a grand final a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I thought I saw that, Mark, and they were scratching down notes and scribbling as I watched on.
So they're down to one on the bench, effectively, North Adelaide. And Allen slips out the back. They're under duress, there's no doubt about that. Delvin's with the mark. They're 19 points down. It's very late in the second term. He goes for Alloway, crash, bang, they go to ground. Nobody able to get clean position, but that was in the back. It was all against Stewart. And we'll go to Miles. So Todd Miles will just settle things down for the Eagles. And he did the right thing, just held it up and waited. And at half-time, it's a 19-point advantage for the Eagles. And there was a fair bit of passion going around in that last 5 or 10 minutes. It'll be very interesting to see what they emerge, when they emerge from the rooms, just how things will be. It's the Eagles 7-3-45, North Adelaide 3-8-20.